All right, let's jump right into this explainer on how Liverpool FC became such a unique cultural institution. We're not just looking at a timeline of a sports team today. No, we are unpacking an astonishing 130-year history defined by community, incredible resilience, and a stubborn refusal to be diminished.
You know, the phrase, "this means more," isn't just some slick marketing slogan cooked up in a corporate boardroom. It is a statement of absolute fact that literally hangs over Anfield. It perfectly summarizes a distinct culture constructed generation by generation, built through both unimaginable tragedy and glorious, logic-defying triumph.
So we really have to ask ourselves, what actually makes Liverpool FC different from any other football club out there? Instead of just looking at them as a highly successful sports franchise with a crowded trophy cabinet, we're going to explore the profound emotional weight and that resilient working-class spirit of a port city that truly separates this club from the rest of the footballing world.
Section 1. Born from spite.
Every great institution has an origin story, right? But Liverpool's was remarkably defiant. Back in 1892, John Holding, who was a local brewer and politician, actually owned the Anfield ground. When Everton FC balked at his rent increases and left, Holding didn't just accept defeat. In an act of wonderfully petty spite, he formed his own club simply to fill his empty stadium. And it worked. They experienced rapid early success, winning their first division title by 1901. But that initial momentum faded. By 1954, the club was humiliated, relegated to the second division, and enduring a long, frustrating drought that left the supporters just waiting for a true catalyst to spark them back to life.
Section 2. The Boot Room Dynasty. Enter Bill Shankly in December 1959. This man, coming from a tough Scottish mining village, stepped into Anfield and sparked a dynasty that would change English football forever. Shankly didn't just build a football team, he built a community. He treated the working-class supporters on the Kop, that's the stadium's famous, fiercely loyal standing terrace, as his primary constituency. He cemented the idea that football here wasn't just a pastime. It was a matter of life, death, and absolute solidarity. He just wanted to give the people of Liverpool something to be truly proud of on a Saturday afternoon.
The crucial takeaway here is that Shankly established what famously became known as the boot room culture. Literally in a tiny, cramped room where coaches kept their gear, they engineered a simple, relentless tactical philosophy that prioritized collective effort way over individual ego. You press, you move, you work harder than your opponent, and you absolutely never accept being second. It was basically socialism translated directly into football tactics.
And passing the torch here is just a brilliant study in contrasts. Shankly's explosive charisma perfectly set the stage for his successor, the reserved, almost taciturn Bob Paisley. Paisley didn't want the spotlight at all, but he quietly took Shankly's foundation and became the most decorated manager in English history. He delivered an astonishing 3 European Cups and cemented Liverpool as an absolute continental superpower.
Section 3. Tragedy and the Wilderness.
Eventually, that unstoppable, machine-like dominance of the 70s and 80s gave way to dark days. In 1985, before the European Cup final at the Heysel Stadium in Brussels, a crowd surge triggered by a charge from Liverpool supporters caused a wall to collapse. Tragically, 39 people, mostly Italian Juventus fans, died. It led to a European ban for all English clubs, with Liverpool banned for 6 years. It left an entire generation of Liverpool supporters carrying a profound, heavy responsibility and grief for a human catastrophe that literally broke football.
Then, just 4 years later, a disaster of even greater magnitude struck the club itself. At Hillsborough in 1989, 97 innocent supporters were unlawfully killed in a crush caused by catastrophic failures in police crowd control. What followed was a relentless 30-year fight for justice by the families against institutional lies and cover-ups. The club and the city completely bonded in shared trauma, fighting for decades just to have the truth officially acknowledged.
The emotional toll of these tragedies bled into a really painful 30-year wilderness on the pitch. While the team still won cups and produced thrilling players like Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen, the coveted league title repeatedly slipped away. They were completely haunted by near misses, forced to watch their rivals accumulate the very championships that Liverpool themselves once monopolized.
Section 4. The Miracle of Istanbul.
But through all of that, the club's defiant spirit survived. Picture this. It's May 25, 2005. Entering the locker room at the Ataturk Stadium in Istanbul, Liverpool faced a humiliating 3-0 halftime deficit against a vastly superior AC Milan side that featured absolute legends of the game at literally every single position. By all mathematical and logical metrics, this match was entirely over.
But, football doesn't really care about probability. Inspired by their homegrown captain, Steven Gerrard, Liverpool defied all logic. They scored 3 goals in 6 frantic, hallucinatory minutes. Gerrard's header, Smicer's strike, and Alonso's penalty rebound brought them level. They ultimately won their 5th European Cup on penalties. It was a night of pure belief that completely reignited the club's aura.
Section 5. The Modern Revolution. Now, despite Istanbul, that agonizing wait for consistent domestic dominance demanded a massive change. And that revolution arrived in October 2015. Jürgen Klopp walked into Anfield with a promise that perfectly echoed Bill Shankly's arrival decades earlier. He said, "I am here to turn doubters into believers." And he meant it. He brought this high-energy, heavy-metal tactical style known as gegenpressing, essentially hunting the ball down in packs the second they lost it. But more importantly, he brought an unshakable, infectious belief that completely reawakened the entire Anfield community.
Klopp systematically transformed the squad piece by piece, and the resulting highlights absolutely defined an era. He delivered a massive 6 European crown in Madrid in 2019. Then, he did the unthinkable. He finally ended that agonizing 30-year league drought during the 2020 pandemic, amassing a staggering 99 points. He added domestic cup doubles to the mix, entirely resetting the standard of excellence at the club.
When Klopp finally stepped down, he left behind what pretty much everyone considered the most impossible job in world football. But in steps Arne Slot with remarkable calm. Establishing his own tactical identity while keeping the squad's fierce intensity, Slot did the amazing. He guided the team to a record-tying 20th league title right in his debut 2024-2025 season.
And this modern resurrection under Slot was heavily powered by the sheer consistency of guys like Mohamed Salah. To put his impact into perspective, Salah racked up 28 goals and 18 assists. That is 47 total goal involvements in a 38-game season. Those staggering, record-breaking stats proved emphatically that Liverpool had officially returned to the absolute summit of English football, going toe-to-toe with history.
So, looking back at this incredible 130-year Phoenix arc, from a petty rent dispute through the brilliant minds of the boot room, through unspeakable tragedy, miraculous European nights, and a triumphant modern revolution, you really have to wonder. As the cop continues to sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," how will this unbreakable community continue to prove that this club truly means more? What new legends are waiting in the wings right now to write the next chapter? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope it gave you a whole new appreciation for the emotional heartbeat behind the history.